Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a really quick holiday style that you can basically use for any of your holiday parties, dinners. It's something that can be dressed up a little bit more or dressed down depending on the level of what you're doing based on how fancy it is kind of thing. So this is going to be a basic pull through braid. This is basically for all the people who say that they don't know how to braid. Braiding is hard. It's too hard to hold that many strands at one time, etc. This is like the easiest way to do a killer braid on longer hair, obviously. So all you girls with bobs, I'm really sorry this one is not for you, but it's really good to know anyway. So yeah, enjoy. It's basically using mainly just small elastics. So I would definitely recommend getting the, I don't know if you can see them, small clear elastics. Honestly, I think these ones are from the dollar store. They don't have to be expensive. The cheaper ones are probably more susceptible to breaking faster, so just keep that in mind. But maybe you'll need a couple bobby pins, but it's primarily just elastics and you're just doing lots of ponytails, and then you're going to pancake the braid out later, which I do explain in some of my previous videos, but I'll explain as I'm going as well. So my hair right now, this is prepped from my beachy wave tutorial, which I'll include down below if you want to watch that one as well. Basically my hair was braided last night and this is the end result. So this style can be done on smooth hair or wavy hair. The wavier your hair is while you're doing this style, the more textured your braid is going to look. So it's not that one way or the other is wrong. It's just that it depends on what you want to see. So I'm obviously a huge fan of texture. I like things to be messy, beachy, boho, so this is the way that I'm gonna do it. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I have my hair parted to the side. You can kind of do it either way. You could do a side part, doesn't matter which side, or you could do a center part. I like it on the side because I want to have a little bit of like a bang kind of drama on that side. So the first thing I'm gonna do is section from the back of my ear down and separate that. You could clip this out of the way if you really needed to. I'm gonna pull all this hair over to this side, so it's really not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna make this super simple, and I'm actually going to separate my bang on that side, maybe a couple other little smaller hairs just to kind of frame around my face. And then I'm gonna double up on my elastics first, that way, because like I said, these are the cheapies, so I don't want them to break. And I'm going to put this into a side pony. So we'll be dealing with this kind of later. You could have the option to stick this in as well and just do it as one side pony, which really doesn't look bad, but I'm gonna twist this up and do something a little bit different. So maybe if you were doing something more casual, you could just keep it all in one pony. But maybe if you were like going out for New Year's or something like that and you wanted to see a little bit of difference from either side, then you could do this version of it as well. So keep that in mind. So basically what we're gonna do is you're gonna take two sections kind of from the back of this ponytail and you're gonna cross it in front. You're gonna take an elastic and you're gonna make that a ponytail. Now you don't want to wrap this elastic around too many times because you do need to be able to pull everything out after. So you want it to be kind of stretchy enough that, you know, it's not like really locked in that elastic. So then I'm literally going to go underneath from the back, take another two small sections. This is hard without a mirror. Maybe do it in the mirror. And I'm going to ponytail below my last elastic. Now the smaller and thinner the sections you take, yeah, that makes sense. The smaller and thinner your sections are, the more intricate this braid is going to be. So if you want to take like really big sections or maybe you don't have a lot of time, totally, it's still gonna look really cute, but I want this to be a little bit more intricate. So I'm taking pretty small sections and I'm literally doing the exact same thing. So I'm taking from the back on each side, wrapping it around to the front like this, finding where my last elastic was, and I'm doing another ponytail right under. you all know how to ponytail. So now you know how to braid, because this is gonna be so cool. So I'm gonna continue this all the way down. It's pretty safe to say that it's very repetitive at this point, so I'm just gonna speed this up for you, give you a little dance party. So you're definitely gonna start getting the hang of this by the time you get to the bottom one. Like, even doing this on myself, the top few, I was kind of like, oh, I just flung the elastic. The top few, it was kind of like really difficult to actually get those in, just because it's hard to like make sure that your fingers are only grabbing the section that you want to take. But I'm like whipping through this now, so rest assured it's gonna get much easier for you. Alright, cool. So I think that's, I'll do one more. There's gonna be elastics all over my floor at this point, because I'm flinging them everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna finish my braid here. Depending on what you're doing, you could like curl these ends a tiny little bit. I actually don't mind them straight, so I'm gonna leave them like that. So, okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of the Amika Vandal Volume Powder Spray. So this is basically kind of like a puff spray, which is gonna give a little bit of volume, but also a little bit of grip as well. This is gonna make it a little bit easier to pancake that braid out, which is what I was explaining to you earlier, because it's going to have a little bit of extra hold and grit, especially for you girls that have super fine, like healthy, slippery hair, those are, you know, all pretty great things, but like you need a little bit of grit to really make that braid nice and fat. So I'm gonna spray this. Just give it a couple puffs, nothing crazy. You can, you know, spray the puff as you go and pull it out, but I'm gonna do it all together. So now you're basically going to take the outside, here, let me untuck that so I can see. The outsides of the braid that you just created, and you're going to pinch and pull. So I'm pinching at the base here, that way I don't throw anything like right out of place, but I'm not holding it so tight that I can't pull this side out. So gently pinching and then pulling. And I like to go side and then side. That way everything's even and I can see how it's sitting. So then I'm gonna move down. Can't see my next one because I obviously don't have a mirror. And I'm gonna pinch and pull. Pinch and pull. Someone who has a lot more layers, I would definitely be careful when you're pinching and pulling, because I mean your layers could definitely like poke through the braid, so maybe don't pinch and pull as much. You don't even have to pinch and pull if you know, love how this braid looks just like that, because it's totally cool. You can leave it like that, but like I said, I like everything to be, you know, a little bit more extravagant. So I'm pinching and pulling. I'm just doing the outsides right now first, and then I'm gonna go back in and do a little bit on the insides as well. By the insides, I mean almost these little sections down here, because why not have some extra fluff? Again, totally optional. actually kind of like how this is like naturally sitting, but you could decide to curl it back if you want. Fluff that up a tiny little bit. If you pull anything, so this is kind of where the bobby pins come into place. If you pull anything like really far out and you're like, oh no, that's not good. Instead of redoing the whole thing, take a bobby, stick it in the area where you feel like is out a little bit too much, and then stick it up into the braid. And that way your bobby pin is pretty much disguised, and that piece that you've pulled like way out is fixed. So last thing I'm gonna do, you could braid this if you want, you can twist it. I'm gonna do kind of like I'm just gonna twist the two pieces. So same idea as the other side, I'm gonna leave a couple little pieces framing around my face, and then I'm basically just going to twist this back, and I'm going to pull this out as well to give a similar texture to the opposite side. And I'm literally gonna take this and pin it into the base of my ponytail. So it might be a little difficult to see, but I'm gonna cross the pins so they're an X to make sure I'm as secure as I can possibly get. And then this little tail, where my bobby pins go. I also have gold bobby pins. You could kind of, if you're blonde, you could still use dark bobby pins, just make sure you're hiding them. And if you're dark, I would also use dark bobby pins. But the gold ones are pretty. So I'm gonna take this tail, I'm gonna hook the bobby pin onto it so it's in there. And I'm gonna go out of the braid, if you can see it poking out there, back into the braid and down. So now that's completely locked in there. I don't have to worry about it. The last thing I'm gonna do is use a little bit of my Amika Undone Volume and Texture Spray. You could definitely use this before as well, to kind of like prep the hair and just make sure that you have a little bit of that extra grit. Spray that. And finally, I'm going to be using my Davines Stronghold Hairspray, which is one of my favorites. It's a strong enough hold that if you wanted to make it like a really stiff hold, you can continuously layer it on. However, if you want it to just be like an everyday hold, that's basically what it is. It's not sticky, it's not heavy, it doesn't feel like you have this like weighted down feeling. So I use this every single day. Like every single day piled on top of each other day after day, and I don't ever feel like I have that like really weighted down kind of feel. So this is definitely a go-to. So give my bang a little spritz, make sure all this stays in. Oh, I don't know where that came from. And there you go. That's literally it. It looks like you've done, you know, a really cool intricate braid. I'll come up close that way you can see. All you've done is ponytails, and that's so great because it takes really not that long at all. So like I said, as far as securing bobby pins and stuff like that, if you have a very high activity level, especially if you're gonna do this twist back here, continuously secure it with bobby pins. That way the twist doesn't kind of fling out while you're dancing or doing whatever you're doing. But if you're, you know, just sitting down having a dinner and you don't feel like you're gonna be headbanging or doing anything crazy like that, then this could work. Just a couple bobby pins to secure it. And then down here as well, for that little tail back here, if you feel like you needed to stick an extra bobby pin in there, you'll, you know, be the judge of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what else you want to see from me. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm also going to be leaving my Instagram handle in the caption down there as well. So check me out on Instagram at ALCHEMYXARTISTRY, and I'll see you soon. That's not a kiss. I tried to kiss and wave at the same time. I'm not even going to edit that out because that's so ridiculous and funny. Okay, bye.